Yes. Call the meeting to order. It's like everyone's here except Eric. I believe he is still in Austin showing pigs or with his kids. So I've asked Zach to give the invitation for us.
Well, Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and thank you for the trust that the community has put in the people in this room. And God, I ask that you be with us and you guide our decisions and help us keep the focus of the students at the center of everything that we decide. We've had a lot of loss in this community. I pray for the Corzines and the loss that they've had. And I pray for the Stamford family in general for the loss that they've recently experienced. And I ask you that you be with us through this meeting. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. I believe we have some recognitions.
So I'd like to introduce Coach Britt Hart, his wife Shay, and their two boys Rhett and Cage. Coach Hart joins us from Merkel. He's been working at track meets this week, and he just came back from the track meet in Merkel just now. So we appreciate him hurrying over and visiting with us. And he's able to introduce himself to the kids yesterday and spent the day here in the district. He'll officially start on Monday. There's going to be a meet AD night at 7 o'clock in the cafeteria. So let's welcome Coach Hart to the Stamford ISD family in our community.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Nice to have you.
Whatever you want to. Put me on the spot.
I don't want to give my big spiel. Trying to save all that for Monday night, but I got to introduce myself and meet a lot of the kids. I wanted to meet the kids first and foremost, and they were very responsive, and got to see the kids work out in the morning with that 50-mile-an-hour wind, and I'm sure that they were ready to get out of the wind anyway. So I think that I saved them from that. Just a little quick background about myself. I'm originally from Bangs. And graduated from Bangs in 1996. That goes to show you how old I am. And went to Charleston State University, played baseball, ran track. My wife, Shay, she played softball at Charleston State University as well. Ended up going to High Island, Texas, that's where we first had our first job in education. And then ended up moving back to Haico, where we did our student teaching, and then came to Wellington. And we were in Wellington for 8 years, and very blessed with a bunch of great kids and great administration, and won a state championship in 2013, and got to play right after Stamford played Shiner. So it was an awesome feeling, and I always told myself I was such in a hurry, and I never got a chance to really enjoy it. So hopefully I'll have another chance again. Ended up going to Fall City, which that's who we played in the state championship game. Blessed with a lot of success there. Going to multiple semifinals, and if it wasn't for Mart, Texas, I probably would have 2 more of these. It is what it is. You know, God had other plans. God brought us to Merkel. I wanted to get back closer to family. Never been close to family, and thought we were going to be there for a while, but God had other plans, and you know, we are happy and blessed to be in this community, and we're excited, and I hope the community and the kids are excited as well, and just can't wait to get started on next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you. Appreciate
All of you. We're glad all of you are here.
it.
Yes. We support the better half.
Well, if you talk to all my friends, she for sure is the gold mine. So.
Any citizen discussion? No. Okay. Administrative reports. Everybody got those a couple of weeks ago. Spring break's kind of thrown everything off. I think we've had this board back in a while.
Do you have any questions on finance reports, dashboards, etc.?
All right, moving on. Consent agenda. Oh, sorry, I skipped over.
Mr. Price is in Seymour. He was working high jump last time I talked to him, so so he will not be here tonight. So we'll just have, but I'll have some things to say about him here in a minute. We'll have Mr. Selke and Mr. Chambers give their reports.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
You'll see there's, I had to print it for you because there's, I cannot remember all this stuff that's going on at the high school. You know, it's like, you know, we're not busy at all at the high school this time of year. We don't have kids. You know, I feel like every day, you know, it's like I spend half of my morning figuring out where everybody's at. And, you know, it's credit to our teachers and our staff. And, you know, we've had a sub shortage, as y'all know, and we're moving kids around. But I did want to start off by saying, be the first one to say we are learning at Stamford High School. And, I'm sure Mr. Price and the middle school is learning as well. But, you know, it's learning on the go for us. I mean, we've got kids going every different direction. We've had a lot happen. Just, I mean, the amount of stuff that has happened just since the last board meeting, I was pretty shocked to see, you know, how much has actually happened. But I wanted to congratulate, you know, recognize our girls basketball team. Once again, lost to the eventual state champions 2 years in a row. So they're that close. And fortunate for us, most of them are coming back. So maybe have another chance next year. All district selections are listed there. Kylie, Joe Bevel, and Leilana Applin were named to the TABC All-Region team. So I want to recognize them. I wanted to give a shout out to Emily Yulstein. Big accomplishment for anyone that knows anything about showing. You know, and couldn't happen to a better person. Grand champion at San Antonio and the reserve champion at Houston. And she's a great representation. I don't know if y'all seen the interview she did. She's a great representation of what it means to be a Bulldog. I mean, so very proud of her. Our high school band, since we last met, y'all know the straight ones for the second year in a row, concert and sight reading. We inducted 22 new members to the National Honor Society. It was a big induction since we didn't get to do that last spring. So we had really 2 grade levels that were being inducted instead of just one. We had cheerleading tryouts, and we got new cheerleaders. Their names are there, new mascot. Wanted to give a shout out to our teacher of the month of February, who happened to be the director of that band that got straight ones, Mr. Copeland. And they went again today for middle school and got straight ones in concert and sight reading for middle school band as well. So when y'all see him, make sure y'all tell him good job. And then our students of the month, and we got. I always do nominations by the teachers nominate the students and they write. And I mean, we got kids doing lots of things right now. So it was hard. I think it was really hard on our teachers to nominate students this month because of all the accomplishments that we've had just in the last month. But Macy Dedmore, Chance Birdsong were our students of the month for February. And so wanted to give them a shout out. And then testing, you know, we're benchmark testing. We finished up Algebra 1, Biology, and U.S. History benchmarking, and we're excited where our scores are right now for that. You know, as y'all know, and as I've said since I've been here, it's not necessarily about assessing, it's what you do after you assess. And so that's kind of the piece that we're really honing in on right now is taking the kids that were approaches or meets and really pushing them to that next level and making a plan, doing some interventions to get kids that weren't passing the passing and the ones that were passing to that next level. So even though, you know, it's not going to be an accountant, you know, they're not grading us on accountability, you know, that's kind of where we're at. We want to, you know, achieve, you know, excellence, just like our core values say. And then as you can see, a full page of upcoming events for y'all to keep up with. A couple to point out, we are hosting academic UIL competition district this Wednesday. And so we're excited about that. The one at Clay is going to perform Sunday night at 5 o'clock here in the auditorium if you want to come see their performance. They did not advance. I thought it was a very, very good performance. I never know, we didn't get to see all of them. We saw a couple, but I thought it was very well done. And I encourage y'all to come see that if you're into that kind of stuff. And then prom is next Saturday, and we'll be hosting that out at the Stagecoach. So, any questions for me? All right, appreciate you.
Before Mr. Chambers goes, just real quickly on middle school, I'll tell you a few things again. Shout out to them just today. They did get straight ones, so they got a sweepstakes at the Cisco Festival. So really good things happening in our band program. Really proud of them and what they're doing. Middle school, they were benchmarking, and he's reviewed that data. He's been really pleased with that data. They met with Candle and Smith yesterday all day and went over results and went over the targeted improvement plan, and we're going to submit another one, the updated one, tomorrow. With that one, he has to present like some artifacts, and he's going to present some of our teachers' lesson plans. So the lesson plans have been really been doing a good job at the middle school lesson plans. So they've been hitting pretty hard with benchmark assessments and those types of things. So.
Well, as you know, it was a tough week for us right before spring break, and we really appreciate all the prayers. And it was as sad as it was very uplifting. Sorry, guys.
I teared up earlier today.
See the kids just really take care of each other. Somebody's sad, arm around them. There was never a kid alone. If one needed to go talk to the counselor, there was a buddy that went with them. Without Miss Mueller, Miss Bryant, they did a great job. A lot of times when we have a situation like that, we'll call counselors in from around us, but we just came together as a family and took care of each other, and we're going to be okay. So life goes on, and we're going to do what she would want us to do, and do our very best every day and teach our kids. And so we are still learning at all elementary. We finished Tell-Pass testing this week. That's always a big thing to get off our shoulders with our language learners. I'm excited to see the growth. We've got some really neat kids that have come to us speaking very little or no English at all, and have grown exponentially even through COVID and remote learning. They've done a really great job. So I'm really excited to see the results of that testing. And so then we started GT testing this week, and we've got 11 kids, which I think is the biggest group we've had in a while to test. And when I walked in that room, I was like, yep. You're in my office all the time. You're in trouble. No, not at all. They're a really neat bunch of kids. So I'm excited to see them go through that. And then we early February, we went through me and the intervention teachers, and Ms. Bryant went through some training with MAPS testing. We are super excited about some of the things that we learned. It's brand new to us this year, and so it's a lot of information, and so we just kind of getting we thought we knew what was going on, but we were just sticking our toe in the water with it. So there is a direct correlation between how kids achieve on MAP testing to their STAR scores. It will tell you exactly where they're at and where they need to go to be successful. So, and then it gives exact activities and TEKs that they need to work on. And so we're really, really excited about that. We'll probably, when we're not over here helping with UIL on Wednesday, we're going to be going over some of that with the teachers. So that's about what's going on at Big Oliver.
So before I dive into my superintendent's report, this is going to be in my Happy Friday email, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I mean, obviously at this time last year, we were on an extended spring break, and I just think about the tremendous amount of work that our campuses have done to try to close that gap in learning. I mean, just a tremendous amount of work. and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, we have meetings with TEA virtually all the time, and they're at their house, and we're here in the trenches, closing the gap with these kids every day. And I'm proud of these guys. I'm proud of their staff. We were talking the other day, first grade, first grade is critical. As a former elementary principal, first grade is critical, that they learn how to read at the end of the first grade. And those first graders miss kindergarten. So a lot of kindergarten. And so they're having to teach kindergarten and first grade all in 1 year. Just tremendous. So thank you all for what you're doing. Just a reminder, we have a student holiday next week on Wednesday, and that's to host the high school EYL academic meet. So just want to remind everybody that's kind of an odd. I didn't really want it on Wednesday. That's pretty well known. I didn't want it on Wednesday, but that's the way the district voted. We preferred to have it on Monday. But anyways, we're having it on Wednesday, and we are going to host it, and we're going to do an outstanding job hosting it, like Stamford has always done, hosting that meet. Food service. So we've been involved in a procurement audit, and so what that is we were scheduled to have a procurement audit next year, but USDA has put some pressure on TDA, which again puts pressure on us. That's kind of the way it works on procurement. And so they've asked for lots of documentation from us and from the other schools and our co-op. We don't know the result of that yet. They just asked for another round of documents that we're supposed to turn in by the 25th, and then we'll have an exit interview, and we'll see what happens with that. We're kind of on the back end of this because the other 4 schools in our co-op were already scheduled for an audit. And so they submitted all their stuff early. And we'll just see what happens. Airmark handles a lot of that stuff. And so we'll just see what happens with it. And I'll let y'all know on the exit interview what we find out. Mr. Price, and we'll talk about him since he's not here. And as y'all know, he's been named the lone finalist at Tahoka. So he's in the 21-day waiting period, just like y'all went through with me. And so I believe it's March the 29th is the board meeting that they'll vote to officially hire Mr. Price. And so, he hasn't resigned here yet. And he hasn't signed a contract there because of the 21-day waiting period. So I'm still trying to convince him to stay. Just kidding, but kind of not. No, in all seriousness, I mean, we're extremely happy for him. I'm happy for him. I didn't know Mr. Price before he came here. I think we've all become really good friends, and he's a really good part of our team, and I'm really happy for him. He deserves a shot to do that, and we're happy for him. Sad for us, but happy for him. He's done an outstanding job at our middle school. I mean, I just can't, just like our other 2 principals. I mean, he's just done an amazing job at our middle school, and he's going to leave it if he leaves. He's going to leave it in good shape. But he's going to be around until the end of the year. There's going to be some days, and I've talked to him about that, and I told him, I've been in his shoes, and he needs to go to Tahoka. That's just part of it, and we'll get it covered here. But he'll still be around to the end of the school year. I'm not sure he'll be here next board meeting, though. That's probably one of the days. So I need to talk bad about him then too. So. This has been the week of meetings. We had our district site-based meeting on Monday. We discussed new members and kind of the membership requirements of that, and also the district of innovation. We discussed the middle school day waiver. They gave me permission, or approval, not really permission, but approval to recommend waivers for the rest of the year. But I wanted to give them an update on the most recent middle school day waiver. We reviewed the district of innovation plan that's currently in place, and then the committee voted unanimously to recommend the renewal of the DOI plan. They also voted unanimously to recommend option B for the district calendar. We began the process of gathering input for the engagement policy and compact, and then we discussed the timeline of meetings for the comprehensive needs assessment process and the process for approving the improvement plans. So it sounds like a really long agenda, but we got done in about 30 minutes. So they did a good job with that. Special ed cyclical monitoring meeting. So again, we were supposed to do this last year. Each district goes to this once every 6 years, and we were picked to be on the first end of that. And because of COVID, it got pushed all the way a year later. So the meeting that we had, that was yesterday. The meeting we had yesterday, we were supposed to have a year ago. And so Terry White led that discussion and did a great job on the training, on the cyclical review process and how it ties into targeted support. And the committee is tasked with reviewing 7 items, and we broke up those 7 items. And we'll meet again on April 15th here in the Media Center at 2 o'clock, and we'll go over that, and then we'll report our results to TEA. So TDM survey. So I was on the phone earlier with Judge Spurgeon, and I learned some things that I haven't shared with Stacy yet. But you know, they've asked us to submit all these receipts and things, costs from Winter Storm Uri, and to submit them to TDM for reimbursement. What I didn't know is that hasn't all been approved yet. And I thought since we were under the disaster declaration, or county is declared a disaster for not just individual assistance but public assistance, I thought that we had access to those funds. But from what he's telling me, that's not exactly been approved yet. So why I say that is we're going to probably have about $10,000 of costs, at least $10,000 costs associated with the storm. You know, our boiler, you know, if you had kids in high school, they'll tell you it's a little chilly Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday when we came back. We had to break out some space heaters, and the on and off of the water and the surging of the electricity played havoc on our boiler for 3 days. And we had West Tex out here for 3 days trying to fix it, and finally on Wednesday we got it fixed. The freezer for the cafeteria, the on and off electricity, ruined the whole compressor and everything. It was $8,800. And then we had multiple, you know, as y'all know, multiple leaks throughout the district that the maintenance staff dealt with. So it'll be over $10,000. And so I hope that we can get some of those funds recovered. Teacher incentive allotment, that application, which we went through that PowerPoint presentation last board meeting, I believe, it was the last board meeting. That application is due on April the 15th, and I've got some work to do between now and then to get all that ready. April board meeting will be on the 12th, I believe. That's the second Monday, unless there's a conflict with that. Monday, April the 12th. All right, the last thing, and this will take just a little bit, but I wanted to give a roofing project update. And you know, we've talked general numbers and general things for quite a while, but now we're in a spot where we can talk specifics. Ralph Harris is here. I wanted Ralph to be able to meet y'all. Ralph has done an incredible job for us. Ralph is our roofing consultant, and that's what he initially joined us for, was roofing consultant. Then the job kind of turned into insurance recovery, which is something he didn't really sign up for, but he dove in and realized that we needed that. He's worked really hard along with Stacy, and we're going to recover about an additional $518,000 because of their work. And Ralph is just, I mean, I can't brag on Ralph enough on that. We TREA hand delivered a check yesterday for $394,000 of that, 518. The rest of that is recoverable depreciation. So as we fix things, we'll get checks, and we'll all know how that works with recoverable depreciation. So you know, y'all know that it's taken 2 years, almost 2 years, not quite 2 years, to get where we're at, to get in a good position. It's been a tremendous amount of work for a lot of people, but I'm really proud. You know, at one point, you know, we were talking about being $300,000, $400,000 short and having to prioritize buildings. And with Ralph's work and Boo's done a great job too. Once they got the bid, I think we're going to be able to. Well, we are going to be able to address all of our needs, and that's something that I wasn't sure was going to happen. So I've asked Stacy to kind of walk you through. She's got a great spreadsheet here that I kind of want to just want to put it up now that it's all set. We got the money. It's pretty clear about where we are. I feel like y'all need a pretty specific update on just kind of where we are and where we think we're going to land with this.
Okay, if you'll look at the sheet, the first 3 columns were the initial settlement from their initial review when they came out and looked at the adjusters came out. And then thanks to Ralph, they got to come back. And so you see the second 3 columns where it says 1 and 2, the 2 is when they came back and did some more adjusting. So the last 3 set of columns is the difference between column 1 and or the first set and the second set of numbers. So you can see that we gained a good bit, $518,412 in replacement cost value, and then $124,000 in depreciation difference. And I wanted to, there are the ones highlighted in yellow are what the unrecoverable depreciation. I believe it's roofs that are older than
15 years or older.
Okay. So those highlighted, I backed those off at the bottom. So you can see that depreciation ended up at $238,998 that we will get back as we replace the roofs. Any questions on the first page? We just kind of want to break it out by building and show you what the damages were, what we started with, what Ralph helped us gain extra with the second set of adjustments. Second page is where, this is my stab at where I think we're going to land after all this. If everything went exactly like we thought, it never does, but we're in a much better position than we were prior. You can see we got the maintenance tax proceeds, $527,881, and then last year, you'll remember we got some insurance proceeds, a little over $500,000, so I transferred those forward as an operating transfer. Recoverable depreciation we don't have yet, but we will get at the end when we've replaced the roofs. And then the additional insurance that we just got yesterday, $394,106. So our total expected coming in is $1,661,028. We had a little over $26,000 in those maintenance tax note issuance costs, which was a little less than what we budgeted for. So that's good. Roofing consultant and insurance recovery consultant, and then the roof repairs, the $1,492,500 is after the change order that y'all are gonna look at tonight to add the cost of doing the things that Ralph found that we got the extra money for.
There's 3 roofs in the district too that were not totaled, that are actually just aged roofs, like the auditorium, the cafeteria, and well, the office, they were gonna cover that, but they didn't pay for those roofs, and we got enough money to actually totally re-roof those 3 structures within the pricing. So, I mean, we're not only getting to do some of the roofs that they're qualified and totaled, but some of the roofs they didn't total, we've got enough funds to go ahead and move it over and get those roofs totally replaced. So it really is, I mean, the way these insurance deals work, generally you're in the hole somewhat at the end. And I mean, if those roofs had just needed to be repaired, there would have been money going back to you guys' fund balance, which is unheard of. So I think it went really well for the district, and compared to where we were sitting 6 months ago, it's definitely a lot better than sitting in a room with him going, well, I don't think we can pay for that. And so once we realized that the adjuster had come out and spec'd everything as like residential, and we got them to realize we're not a residence, we're a commercial property, it worked a lot better.
And a lot of those things that he's talking about, I don't know anything about, like 26, 24 gauge. I mean, I put up sheet metal just like a lot of y'all have, but I didn't understand all the details of it. And
it's the difference between $5 a foot and $8 or $9 a foot. So it's considerable.
So maybe if things go well, we might end up with a little bit back in our pocket, but we shouldn't be out a whole lot like we thought we were going to be. And that's, at the end of the day, I mean, we weren't able to get insurance until we replaced the roofs. We were kind of stuff. So that's why we've taken the extra time to go through this process and try to make sure that we end up with the best work that we and replacement that we have. And then like I said again, I can't thank Ralph enough because he has really saved us.
And you guys
big
are getting
time.
quality roofs. We're not shorting any of these buildings. I mean, they're coming back with quality metal. They're coming back with quality insulation, quality single plies on these other roofs. It'll be nice. It'll be a good project.
And that's the benefit of also having Ralph, is that he doesn't work for Boo or anybody. I mean, he's our consultant. He works for us. So as he's looking at what's being installed, and
We've changed just about all of the installs around a little bit. I told him next time I'd like for him to hire me right when they get the hill claim. Now I have to work backwards.
Do you have any questions on any of that?
March 17th, you said that's our last payment from Terry.
Say that again.
The March 17, 21 is the last payment we get from.
This was the additional, March 17th was,
we still have two payments.
this was from Travelers.
I started saying that was Travelers.
Yeah, this was additional over the reinsurance amount that Travelers came back with, and but we have two more payments coming on the initial. Yeah.
The 166.
698 each, so.
Ralph, real quickly, you want to talk about us starting and when we're going to start? And how
Well, I mean, we're kind of waiting for the change order, but everything's been ordered. I mean, the metal, I went ahead because we're on a 6-week wait. The country is actually realizing a national metal. I mean, it's really depleted the way that we've gotten I think our economy is fixing to take a huge shock from all of this. But anyway, it's going to take up to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks to get the metal here. So we got that ordered a couple of weeks ago when we finalized some numbers. Boo Roofing will start with probably the auditorium or the cafeteria and the junior high. And that work will commence a week from Monday. I don't know in what capacity, whether we'll be doing rake trim right now. It just depends on that metal order. We're supposed to get a small amount of it in, and I told him to put that towards flashings for these other buildings so that we can at least start doing the single plies and get those out of the way. The big work for the elementary and the high school and the media center here, and also the agricultural building, that'll probably be about 6 weeks out. So it'll be in the summer when we start that. We'll definitely complete within, I would say, 6 to 8 weeks of that metal getting here. So we'll be done by the first part of this, well, before school starts. I'm sure of that. I'm hoping like July 31st is when we get finished. We have extended because it took so long to get everything together. And I'm not sure exactly what our final date, but I thought it was in March before, and I've moved that date to July 31st because we've had so much work getting to this point.
They've been waiting on us. Boo's been waiting on us.
Right. And I mean, there were some things that we had to correct too, like metal colors were kind of tough, trying to get the blue that we wanted. And I think we got close.
Yeah. And the white and blue, we're just not, I mean, it's 6 months out. So
We're just like a slight shade off of it. I really, I mean, I guess if I didn't mention it, you probably never noticed, but it's not quite Hawaiian blue, but I will let you know there's 5 Hawaiian blues out there. So it's nothing cut in stone. We've gotten, I think we're, just on the cusp, and once we get rolling, it'll go well. I would expect to see all the single plies in some of the small outbuildings, the coatings, the storage buildings and the ag facility to get their coatings. And I would expect all phases of those projects that aren't strictly standing seam to be done by the time the metal gets here. So basically, we'll be just doing quality control on the metal buildings. And I think it'll work out better that way too, because we can kind of gear through these other different types of roofing and then doing the assessments for the metal roof. I won't have to do them all at once. So it works out all right.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, sir.
I hope that was clear enough. We'll start a week from Monday.
Thank y'all. Yes. I know it's been a huge.
To say the least.
It looks like it's gonna pay off.
Right.
It's so much more rewarding.
We were, and I joke about this, but when we first started looking at this, I said, Stacy, start praying for the fishes and the loaves. So
That's what we've been doing.
we've been praying.
Well, the insurance wasn't real friendly. I mean, when I brought them back on some of this stuff, I mean, we were going through the attic over at the elementary. And I could see the ice and water shield through the holes, and they're going, well, I mean, you'd have to take this off here to be able to tell whether it's ice. I said, it's right there. And the guy said, well, it may be around penetration. The only way I'm putting that ice and water shield is if we could find the receipt from the past roof. So Stacy went digging and found the receipt, and I got to send it to him that afternoon. I was so happy.
All right, you done?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Consent agenda, strike B. No capital goods.
Any questions on the budget amendments? Just basically is the change order
Right.
as for the capital projects fund.
I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
A motion by Curtis, second by, who's the
I did.
Justin, sorry. I don't remember. Any further discussion? Call for a vote?
Jennifer Cadell,
Yes.
Callie Miller,
Yes.
Curtis Birdsong,
Yes.
Gwen Baker,
Yes.
Eric Strand is absent, Zach Logan,
Yes.
Justin Corzine.
Yes.
That motion passes unanimously. Now we have certification of the unopposed candidates.
Can I say one more thing?
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna give you a card. I'm giving you all business cards. It's got my cell phone on it. Anytime during this project that you have a question that you can't get answered, feel free to give me a call, and I promise you I'll answer the phone and we'll figure it out for you. I am gonna take off if you don't mind.
Nope.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you,
Thank you
Ralph.
very much.
Is it Justin Callie or y'all? Is that his?
Yep.
Stuck with us some more. I was thinking the same thing for y'all. Y'all are stuck with us.
Y'all don't have to abstain. You can vote on it because it doesn't affect the outcome. So,
Make a motion to accept the certificate of unopposed candidates as presented.
A second.
Motion by Zach, who got the second? Second, Gwen, any further discussion? Call for a vote?
Jennifer Cadell,
Yes.
Callie Miller,
Yes.
Curtis Birdsong,
Yes.
Gwen Baker,
Yes.
Eric Strand is absent, Zach Logan,
Yes.
Justin Corzine.
Yes.
And that motion passes unanimously. Now we have the cancellation of the school board trustee election.
I make a motion.
Got a motion by Gwen,
Second.
second by Zach. Any further discussion? Call for a vote?
Jennifer Cadell,
Yes.
Callie Miller,
Yes.
Curtis Birdsong,
Yes.
Gwen Baker,
Yes.
Eric Strand is absent, Zach Logan,
Yes.
Justin Corzine.
Yes.
That motion also passes unanimously. Now we have the 2021-2022 district calendar.
And I'm recommending option B, 73%, I believe, of the staff. I think I sent this to you. We had some of the dates in May were, we did change them.
So what, did you get any feedback as to why they chose to be over eight? Was there anything that particularly
Later start date.
later start date?
No, they didn't want to start. They weren't quite ready to go back. Almost.
Starting first week of August.
Spring break should be pretty uniform across now that the 1st of March is on a Tuesday, not on a Sunday or Monday. So that's pretty uniform. What I would say is all the calendars I've seen have that week of March as a spring break, which will be nice.
motion to approve the 2021 district calendar presented.
Second. Got a motion by Justin, second by Kelly. Any further discussion? Call for a vote.
Jennifer Goodell.
Yes.
Kelly Nettle.
Yes.
Gwen Baker.
Yes.
Eric Strange, absent Zach Logan.
Yes.
Justin Corzine.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Now we have the missed school day waiver.
So this is for February the 16th to the 19th. February the 15th was a staff development day, so we're asking for 4 days, 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. I've got what it's going to look like when I apply for it. We have to provide documentation, which I think is ask the governor about his declaration. But anyways, I'll provide some documentation. Any questions about it?
Second. Got a motion by Curtis, second by Kelly. Any further discussion? Call for a vote.
Jennifer Goodell.
Yes.
Kelly Nettle.
Yes.
Curtis Blaze.
Yes.
Gwen Baker.
Yes.
Eric Strange is absent Zach Logan.
Yes.
Justin Corzine.
Motion passes unanimously. Now we have the change order for the roofing project. Just need a motion to approve.
Yeah, I can pass it up to you just so you can put your eyes on it. I think you actually have it in your packet. This is the signed copy by Blue Roofing as well. So it's signed by an architect.
I just heard what you said. I mean, it took a minute to process. I heard you, but I was like, oh, yeah.
So what I will say about this is you can only have a change order up to 25% of the original bid. Okay, so that 297,814 additional takes us up to 492, and that's like within $723 of the 25%. We just told, I mean, and Ralph, wish he was still here. We just told Blue Roofing, hey, that's all we got. That's it. So you got to make it work. So, so this takes us up to the max. So if we have something that comes up, I guess we'll probably either rebid it or use another contractor or something along those lines, because this does take us up to the threshold of our original bid.
Okay. Okay. Motion to approve. Got a motion by Kelly,
Second.
second by Justin. Any further discussion? Call for a vote.
Jennifer Goodell.
Yes.
Kelly Nettle.
Yes.
Curtis Birdsong.
Yes.
Gwen Baker.
Yes.
Eric Strange is absent Zach Logan.
Yes.
Justin Corzine.
Motion passes unanimously. Now we have the district innovation plan.
Because this is a legislative session year and there's some conversation about doing away with some of the options in the district innovation plan, it's been recommended that you go ahead and renew it, even though our plan does not come up for renewal until next year. I'm trying to be proactive so we can try to get those initiatives approved. So that's the whole purpose of it. And so it's basically the exact same district innovation plan that we had in the past, just removed.
I move we approve the district innovation plan as presented.
Second.
Got a motion by Curtis, second by Gwen. Any further discussion? Call for a vote.
Jennifer Goodell.
Yes.
Kelly Nettle.
Yes.
Curtis Birdsong.
Yes.
Gwen Baker.
Yes.
Eric Strange is absent Zach Logan.
Yes.
Justin Corzine.
Yes.
And that motion passes unanimously also. Next on the agenda, we have mask wearing requirements. There is a resolution in here, and I just want to say, I know there are lots of strong, I guess, feelings on this. And so, but I know that everybody has looked at this, prayed on this, talked about this, and so, I guess I can just read the resolution.
You know, they got-
It would help, thank you. Thank you. Whereas the executive order GA 34 provides TEA with legal authority to publish requirements for the operation of public school systems during the COVID-19 pandemic, and whereas Stamford ISD established COVID-19 health protocols and face covering mask requirements at the beginning of the 2020-21 school year related to TEA's recommendations and mandates, and whereas TEA's updated school year 2021 public health planning guidance published on March 3rd, 2021 gives the Board of Trustees the exclusive power to modify or eliminate by formal action any face covering or mask related requirements. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Stamford Independent School District as follows. 1, all of the above referenced recitals are incorporated into and made a part of this resolution. 2, the board directs the district to eliminate the mask requirement for Stamford ID and makes masks and or face coverings a recommendation for students, staff, and guests. 3, the board gives the superintendent authority to reinstate the mask and or face covering requirement if administration determines there is a substantial or significant increase in confirmed positive COVID cases in the district and or community.
There's two things that I wanted to hear. One is that they're still recommended, and students have the opportunity, teachers have the opportunity to wear them at their discretion. And Mr. Brewer has the authority to reinstate it as he deems fit. So with that in mind, I make a motion to approve the mask wearing requirements as presented.
Got a motion by Zach, second by Justin. Any further discussion? Call for a vote?
Jennifer Cadell,
Yes.
Kelly Miller.
Yeah, you can't say that. Curtis Birdsong,
Yes.
Gwen Baker.
Yes.
Eric Strand is absent. Zach Logan.
Yes.
Justin Cordine.
Yes.
and that motion passes unanimously. Now we are to executive session. I believe we are going to convene into executive session. Motion by Zach, second by Curtis. Call for a vote. Jennifer Cadell. Yes. Callie Miller.
I guess.
Curtis Birdsong.
Yes.
Gwen Baker.
Yes.
Zach Logan.
Yes.
Justin Cordine.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously, and it is 7:11. We are adjourned.